What? Please tell me it's not going to do this too. Hold on. First episode bugs, I guess. Please don't tell me I won't be able to do this. Okay. I think it should be fine. Alright. So. Hey guys, MRG95 here with episode 1 of my Bloodborne Let's Play. Let me take these off real quick. Sorry about that. I decided to do Bloodborne for my next Let's Play because I wanted a fun little challenge. Other than a few bosses, I don't think Bloodborne is the hardest game. I want to show you this intro first before I continue talking. This is actually a really cool intro. Wait for it. I love watching that intro. There we go. Okay, play upline. I don't have PlayStation Plus or whatever, so new game obviously.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the reason why
Well,
interruptions.
well, you've come to the right place. Yharnam is the home of blood ministration. You need only unravel its mystery. But where's an outsider like yourself to begin? Easy, with a bit of Yharnam blood of your own. But first, you'll need a contract.
So the reason why I chose Bloodborne is because it's one of my favorite games. In terms of From Software games, Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and a few others, it is my favorite of the series, the Soulsborne series, and Sekiro, if you include that in those things. All around, I just love playing this game. It is a really good challenge, and I think it'll be fun to see like all the moments get really pissed off. Which, of course, I'm going to try controlling myself. I'm not going to let my anger get the best of me. You might hear the occasional F-bomb here and there, but regardless, let's just show off a few features here. First up, the contract. This is where you make your character. You can choose your gender, male or female. This means nothing to stats. So, I'm not sure why it even says that. I think that wasn't a thing in Dark Souls either. Anyway, age. You can choose young, mature, aged. You just have like different skin. Again, this has no bearing on ability either. Because that would be kind of dumb if like aged had less speed, but more like intelligence, and like mature had more strength but less intelligence. Blah 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 blah. That would have been kind of a dumb thing to do. I'll just go with mature just for the hell of it. I want to wait to do origin until we do appearance. Appearance. This is where you choose your voice, which I'll go with mature just to match. Actually, I'll go with 80. I like that one more. Build. This just shows you like how strong or skinny looking your character is. Large head. Skill adjustment. You have a few options. You can make your arms bigger. You can just make your character look kind of ridiculous. Not super ridiculous at all. Until you get to... I want to show you base skin real quick. I don't like what Bloodborne did here. I mean, you can't even tell which half of these look like. And I'm the only one... Is it me, or does that one just look like you were put out in the sun for like 10 hours. It looks like freaking smoked ham. The weird faded colors they did, that one's even worse. It looks awful. It looks straight awful. I don't like what they did here, but I do like the skin color options. That's not what I'm complaining about. Just, if you're going to show what the skin color looks like, actually show what it looks like. Don't do this weird faded look. We'll go with super pale. I don't go crazy with that. Skin tone, just different color, skin color features. This is where it gets ridiculous. You can have some really weird stuff here, like, let's go to face shape. One thing I like to do is a ridiculous nose. We'll just make eyebrows look super surprised, like, what? Oops. It doesn't matter. Eyes, no, nose ridge. There we go. Let's go low, make it look as weird as possible. Don't worry, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, because I actually have a preset I want to use that I saved a few months ago, actually, when I was doing a playthrough that I never really continued. Nostrils, we'll go as low as possible, and then make them large. Wide. Large. I mean, look at that shit. I can make some jokes here, but I won't. But yeah, just, you can make your character look as ridiculous or as, like, normal as possible. You got your skin and makeup things, if you like wearing makeup and stuff. Hair, there's a lot of options. Actually, well, a couple options, I would say. I personally like going with hair that kind of matches me, and this is probably the closest to what my hair looks like right now. I'm wearing a beanie, but my hair is a little messed up right now. I apologize, but it is backed a little under my neck, which I just wanted to show you guys for context. I like wearing beanies, so I'm going to wear my beanie. This one's another one of my favorites, just kind of like a long hair emo kind of haircut. This one's nice too. You can also choose your beard style. My personal favorite is this one because it kind of just matches what mine looks like. And it's like really patchy looking. This is another thing about Bloodborne I kind of don't like, is the hair looks kind of patchy and it's limited. Actually, now that I remember it, this is actually the one that's my favorite. Sorry. It's been a while since I've made a character. Pupils, eyes, stuff like that. Personally, though, I'm going to be using a preset that I made a while ago. These are some really stupid ones I made. Like, I never even used this guy before. This one was kind of based on me, minus the glasses. I just added that to look cool. This one I made kind of recently, and Jesus Christ, why? I kind of want to delete this, to be honest. For this playthrough, though, I'm going to go with this one. Yeah, he looks really weird and creepy, like a junkie, but I really like how he looks. And one feature I want to do real quick, or change, is face details. I want to change his eye color real quick to like a gold color. A little darker than that, a little darker. What happens if we add a little blue? Oh, that turns more of a faint pink. Alright, that's good. Alright, we're good there. Sorry, I want to change my hair color a little bit too. Not a big difference, I just want like a little darker red color, because I like darker red more than a lighter red. We're good. Origin. This is basically your class. This, unlike Dark Souls, where there's like knights which focus more on melee weapons and armor, and then like sorcerers which have magic. These don't really determine much other than your beginning stats, and you can really just go wherever you want with your stats in this game. It's pretty open-ended in that way. But each of these just have a beginning layout for your character depending on what weapons you want to use. If you excuse me for a second, I need to look for the page I'm trying to look for. Character classes. There it is. The source I'm using for information for this Let's Play is bloodbornewiki.com. I will leave a link in the description for those who want to check it out. So it's not in the description right now, but I will add it later. Don't worry. First up is your all-around basic class, Milquetoast. Sorry, I'm not good with words. Basically, if you don't like any of these classes, this is the one to start off with because it has a good balance in vitality, endurance, strength, and skill, as well as blood tinge and arcane. What each stat does is level is just what level you are. It determines on how much your next level will be when you purchase it from a character we'll get into a little bit later. Blood Echoes is what you start off with. That really means nothing, to be honest, so don't even worry about that. Vitality determines how high your life is, so pretty much how many hits you can take, sorry. Not Vitality, sorry. Endurance is how many times you can hit and how long you can sprint. Personally, I like having it pretty high, but there is a cutoff point where I usually stop purchasing into it. Strength determines how much damage strength-based weapons will do, and as well as certain weapons you can carry. Skill is the same thing as strength, but basically it's like dexterity in Dark Souls. Strength and dexterity, they just change it to skill in this. Blood tinge is a new mechanic in this game, which determines damage of your gun weapons and a few other weapons, mostly skill-based weapons, which we'll get into when we get to. And arcane determines how much damage some magic abilities do. Personally, for first playthrough, I would go with a strength-based character, because strength weapons are really freaking easy to get into, and one of my favorite types, for me, that is. Lone Survivor is more vitality-based. This is a good starting class if you want to survive a little bit easier, and probably the one I might go with, unless if I want to go for a fun little challenge. But you do lose a little bit of blood tinge and a little bit of arcane, which, personally, arcane is the worst type of ability to go with for a first playthrough, because all these abilities are usually mid to late game and just not really worth doing whatsoever, unless if you're doing New Game Plus. So if you're doing New Game Plus, go ahead, go with arcane, but other than that, just don't bother with it. It's not worth it. Troubled Childhood focuses on endurance and skill. Really good class for any skill-based user. Violent Past focuses on vitality and strength, so it is more of a strength-based orientation, which I really like. Not the one I usually go with myself, but it is good. Professional is more skill and endurance-based. I personally don't like going with this one. I'd rather go with Troubled Childhood, just because it has better endurance. Military Veteran is your... What's the word? I am trying to look for a certain word. I can't remember. Quality. A quality build is basically combining both strength and skill, so you could use really either. Pretty good. I like it. I typically use it though if I want to go with strength, just because it starts off with a decent amount of strength, and I don't really care for arcane personally. This one is for blood tinge and skill. Pretty decent, but all around I don't like going for it simply because it has really low vitality. I think it's the class with the lowest. Holy shit, it is. Don't go with this one. And I think it's called Sion. I kind of don't know how to say that word, but it does start off the most blood echoes, I guess, but all around just not worth doing. If you're gonna go with a skill build or anything, just go with one of these other ones with more vitality, please. Cruel Fate, arcane based, don't go with it for first playthrough. Basically, these two are probably the worst ones. Even worse than the Waste of Skin, which is meant to be like the shittiest class. Basically, it just starts off with really low numbers and the lowest blood level. So technically speaking, there is no such thing as blood level 1 or 1 through 3 in this game. The lowest level you could be for a challenge run is blood level 4. Unlike soul levels, which is set at 1 in Dark Souls. This is a really good class. I actually personally love going with this one, but for this playthrough, since I'm going to go with a certain build, I'm not going to be using it just because the weapon I'm going to be choosing in the beginning will be doing a lot less damage from the other ones. If you're doing a strength build and it's your second or third playthrough, this is a fun class to go with, and I personally love it a lot. It gives you the chance to basically build your character how you want, since it has pretty basic stats. But for this playthrough, I am torn between... Personally, I'm torn between Lone Survivor or maybe Military Veteran, just because it has a tiny bit more skill. But I think I'm going to go with Lone Survivor just because it has a decent amount of vitality and endurance. Plus, 11 strength for the beginning isn't terrible, but I just like going for it. So, how long did that take? I'm curious. This video is not going to be short, and I can't tell. Probably 10 minutes at this point. So, we're good. We got our character entered. Oh, his name. I thought about this name earlier, and I kind of laughed at it. Sir Gentle. For no reason other than just being stupid. I don't even know if I spelled that right, but I don't care. Sir Gentle, let's do this. So for my build, I'm going to be going with a skill-based build with a little bit of blood tinge. There's actually a layout for it on the website I mentioned in the build section, so I'm kind of getting it off of that, but I really liked how it looks, so that's why I'm going for it. And I haven't really done a skill run in like 2 years, I think. Forget. I could check later. I'll check later at the end of the video because
all signs sealed. Now, let's begin the transfusion. Oh, don't you worry. Whatever happens, you may think it all a mere bad dream.
You found yourself a hunter.
So, here we are. So before we do anything, I do want to change... I don't think I can, actually. Make that a little darker so it's easier for you guys to see. I'll go with 6. Subtitles on. Okay, here we go. Let's lower that all to 5, just to make it a little easy for you guys to hear and not get ear raped by every fucking sound there is in the game. Subtitles on, obviously, and display HUD, yes. I am not a sadist. I'm not going to go with that off. Controls, you could, I think, change the control layout. I guess not. I thought you could. I think you could do that in Sekiro, but not in this game, I guess. That's fine. I don't really care. Here's your beginning stats for your lone survivor. So you got a decent amount of HP and a little bit of good stamina. Everything else is pretty basic, and we'll get into that more later. For damage reduction, physicals, just physical hits. Blunt and thrust are type of weapons that works against. So we have decent blunt resistance, but not thrust, so we got to worry about that. Yeah, fair enough. So yeah. The Carol Ruin effects, that's something we'll get into a lot later. We can't even do anything about that right now. Here's what our inventory looks like. Each section is for different things: consumables, materials, key items, right-hand weapons, left-hand weapons, attire, blood gems, Carol Ruins, and chalices. Chalices is something we're going to be doing a lot later in the series. I do plan on doing not as many, but I'm going to be doing some of the chalice dungeons, just to show you the quickest way to get to the Acerant boss. Consumables, the only thing we have right now is the Hunter's Mark. I don't use this. This item is pretty useless in my opinion, just because it looks good. The Waken Anew means you just go back to the Hunter's Dream by using it, but you lose all your blood echoes, and that's just a cost you don't want to use, especially if you're carrying tons of blood echoes. Note: Handwritten Scroll, Seek Pale Blood to da-da-da-da. Not much for us to do here, so let's just head out, open the door. I don't think you can do anything on this. Not yet. Okay. But remember this room for a little bit later, just because there will be some stuff to do here eventually. I believe this room has a little bit of a tutorial type thing. You got lock on with R3, pretty good feature to know. Here it is. Attack with the right-handed weapon. We don't really have a weapon right now, but you karate chop, and if you hold R2, you do a charge attack, which uses up more stamina, but does a lot more damage. And then we have, technically speaking, and I don't think it's technically because it actually is, our first enemy in the game. So, if you're good enough, you can beat this thing right now, but I think you're supposed to actually die to it. I tried, guys, but its combo got me. But as you can see, we're doing, like, no damage to it. I'm just gonna die to it. I typically do. If you're really good at this game, you can actually fight that thing without any weapons, but it's just not worth it. We'll get a chance to get revenge on it momentarily. When you die, you actually lose all your blood echoes, just like in Dark Souls, but you do have the chance of grabbing them back. However, there is a different feature in this game where sometimes the enemy will actually find the blood echoes before you, and you would have to kill the said enemy to get those echoes. Blood echoes are basically like souls. They are currency, which let you buy consumables, upgrades, weapons, level ups, you know, that kind of stuff. Pretty much everything that souls are. And who cares how long I'm going to be recording? It's going to be a while. This episode's going to be one of the lengthier episodes in the series, just because I want it to get to a certain point. That sounded really clunky how I said that. In the top right, as you can see a little symbol that's like an upside down Y combined with an I. That is the Blood Echo symbol, and then the I below that is Insight, which we'll get into once we get Insight, which is actually a really rare resource. Right here is where you buy items and sell items. I don't really sell a lot of items often, but I do buy a lot of things. You can buy blood vials, quicksilver bullets, Molotov cocktails, and pebbles at this point, as well as a Yarnum Hunter set, which is a set of gear I would highly recommend grinding up for. It is in total 2,500 blood echoes, but it is very well worth your time getting this, just because it makes what you currently have on look like shit. As time goes on, there will be more things you can buy here, including weapons and some other good shit. This is unimportant right now. Unimportant. Can't really do anything there either. These tombstones are not really useful for us right now at the moment. This tombstone, however, is the Yarnum headstone. This will let you quick travel to lanterns, which I'll show you in a moment. Now for our beginning weapons, we have the Saw Cleaver, Hunter Axe, and Threaded Cane. The Saw Cleaver is my personal favorite weapon in this game, at least my second actually, but my current one is a weapon we can't get until a lot later, which I'll show you then. But all around, this is a fantastic weapon for any strength build, and it is basically a combination between these two. It has moderate damage at 90, pretty quick and agile, as well as doing a decent amount of damage. The Hunter Axe is a little bit slower, but definitely hits a lot harder and has more durability. Durability, honestly, isn't that big of a problem in this game. You're hardly ever going to get a weapon down in durability enough to matter, because you can easily repair it pretty much at any point in the game. So it's not a huge deal. Excuse me. Overall, the Hunter Axe is an amazing weapon. Something I forgot to say is these weapons are actually two-form weapons. The Saw Cleaver is a shorthand kind of curved blade like that, but can be extended to do pretty good long range. It's a little bit slower. This weapon is a one-handed weapon that lets you... both forms of this are one-handed. The Hunter Axe, however, its first form is one-handed and is pretty damn good damage, and then its second form is two-handed, meaning you can't use a gun, and has a really good sweeping ability. As for the Threaded Cane, well, I'm going to show you because this is the weapon I'm choosing for the beginning. Next up, the guns. The Hunter Pistol has a lot more damage, but doesn't have a lot of stagger, where the Hunter Blunderbuss actually does. Personally, for this playthrough, I'm going to be going with the Blunderbuss, just because that's my personal favorite of the three. Or two, sorry. And then this is a notebook. If you play online, this notebook lets you write messages to people, so... And to equip weapon, you go to arms, equip Threaded Cane, and equip Hunter Blunderbuss. You could have two of each at a time. Your right D-pad button is what lets you select your right-handed weapon, and your left one lets you select your left-handed one. Another thing I need to mention, this is a PS4 exclusive, so if you have a PC or Xbox, unfortunately you cannot play this game as it is PS4 exclusive. Sony basically funded this project, and if it wasn't for them, this game would not exist, so... we can't really do anything here yet. We will eventually, but not quite yet. And there's nothing else for us to do here. Actually, real quick, there is one thing I think we can do, and that is go up here, take a quick left, take a quick right, and get that. That is, I think, a pre-order bonus for this game. And what you do is you give them the items, and now they have snazzy little hats. And not just these guys. I believe it's only the ones in the Hunter Green that have them. Okay, most of them. Okay, it looks like none of them, but still, it's cool to have. There's a few of these we get throughout the game, so... Well, yeah. So enough of tutorial shit, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the game. Excuse me. Oh, Jesus. You know what? One cool thing is, in an update a while ago, they added those things that showed like items in the descriptions for the loading screens. Before that, it was just blank. with like a logo in the middle. So I'm kind of glad they did that. Gives you time to read. And we got a few more messages here. Right attack, R1 attack. I mean, dodge, backstab. So you got dodge, and then you could roll around, which is a nice way to dodge. Pretty good. Options. Okay. Shoot with L2. And then lock on, we saw that. Does it say anything? Nope, it doesn't say. L1 lets you switch your trick weapons. So for the Threaded Cane, the Threaded Cane is like a short sword type weapon. It has pretty quick attacks and a thrust. And then it can be switched to a freaking Blade Whip. I mean, this thing is badass. It has a lot... It has less damage, but you could get a few more hits in than other weapons. So let's read this note. When locked onto a target, you will quick step instead of rolling. Okay, good to know. So as you can see, the Scourge Beast, which is its official name, has glowing eyes. That means it has your blood echoes, and you're gonna have to fight it to get them back. Oh fuck, I'm cornered. Guys, I might die to this. Oh my fucking god, I died to the first enemy because I got cornered. To be fair, 400 blood echoes is not a big loss, so I can't really do much with that at this point in the first place. But when you do die and don't get your blood echoes back, they're gone for good. So just keep that in mind. I'm kind of glad I showed that now because I'd rather lose 400 blood echoes than a few hundred. That's one thing about the Threaded Cane, is its damage is pretty much shit. I should have chose the Saw Cleaver. It would have been a better beginning weapon, but regardless, let's deal with this. Back up. Don't get too cocky. Getting cocky is one of the worst things to get. Oh, I got... Okay. Oh, I see. So even if you have 0 blood, that thing is kind of phasing out into existence. Even though that I did lose those blood echoes, it counted my 0 as a mass of blood echoes, so it took that. These are items you find in the overworld. Just they could be weapons, blood vials, anything really. They're not random either. The ones on the ground at least are 100% preset. Blood vials recover. I believe it's 30% of your health. I'm not sure about that. I think it is 30%. Let me click the merchant thing real quick and click blood vials. Blood vial? Oh my god, really? I am wrong, it is 40%. So, pretty good damage. Pretty good healing, and that scales with your HP, so at this moment that heals like about 300 HP, because I have like over 600, I believe. Yes. It's pretty good. They are consumable, so once you use them, they're gone for good. Restore HP with triangle, don't need to. You can heal at max HP, as I'll show you in a second. So just don't click triangle on accident. Alright, stay off that button. That is always the blood vial button. So those icons on the top left, the red bar is your health, green bar is your endurance, the one right under the green bar is your blood vial count, and the one under that is your quicksilver count, which is your bullets. They look a little weird, to be honest. They don't really look like bullets. I guess they kind of do. And then that big square right next to everything is not important. I mean, it is important. We'll get to that in a second once we can actually equip that. Hey, that's nice. Nice. This is your quick item menu. We don't really have anything for it right now, but that is that big square right there, and that is used by clicking square. Can't really do anything about this area right now, so we'll that is a later area to worry about. Open up the gate. I think this video has been going on for like 25 minutes, so I completely apologize for my poor performance back there. That's on me. So we got a few things we could do here. We could grab, I think, more blood vials right here. Yes. I don't know what every item is, so I'm not even going to bother guessing or even telling you. Just collect them as time goes on. Dead horse. And we got our first encounter with a huntsman. I didn't know I had my chain whip on. I thought I had my base. But doesn't matter. We staggered that bitch into oblivion. So let's click some enemies real quick. That was a huntsman with an axe. Torch and axe. That enemy has 150 HP and drops around 50 blood echoes and has a decent chance of dropping blood vials, quicksilver bullets, or Molotov cocktails. It ranges between 20% to 5%. I'm not going to say the exact percentages because we'd be here forever if I had to do that. Okay, so I thought about something. To make it easier on me, when I say what an enemy drops, it's usually just going to be if they drop one thing, and if they drop multiple, I'm not going to say what they drop at all. That's what that means. Unless it was like something super rare and unique that isn't just a quicksilver bullet, blood vial, or whatever. Molotov cocktails. These items are insanely good. Basically, they're a consumable item that you throw at enemies and they burn. It does more damage to beast-based enemies, which these huntsmen aren't. So don't waste them on them. I'm going to be saving them for the first boss I like to fight in the game, of course, so we'll wait for that. But I love that cry, by the way, and I also kind of think Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda on the Wii or Switch kind of copied off that, but that's just me. For those who are curious, I played this game like 3 times fully. Yeah, 3 times. And I actually have a platinum trophy on it, which, I mean, can't go wrong with that. So talk to this guy in here.
You must be a hunter. And not one from around here either. I'm Gilbert, a fellow outsider. You must have had a fine time of it. Diamond has a special way of treating guests. Well, I don't think I could stand if I wanted to, but I'm willing to help if there's anything that can be done. This time, this curse, whatever you read, whatever. Pale blood, you say?
I'm just gonna skip through the dialogue mostly, unless it's like
but if it's blood you're
something useful.
You should try the healing church. The church controls all
Because this will add up time on the video, and I
varieties of blood. Across the
I don't
valley to the east of Yarn
but
lies the town of the healing
starting from
church.
after this episode, I might not skip, but don't worry.
Deep within Cathedral Ward is the old Grand Cathedral, the birthplace of the healing church's special blood, or so they say. Yarn might be one of the hunt.
So just keep going until he repeats the same dialogue.
That's your across the valley to deep like that.
Okay, there we go. Talk to this guy whenever you get the chance, because during certain times he will be very useful. This is a shortcut that I want to try getting to that before the end of the video. So let's quickly go through the Central Yarnum. Central Yarnum doesn't have a lot of major enemies in it besides these huntsmen. There are a few things we're gonna have to worry about, of course, momentarily. So took a hit there. That's not good. So pretty much all the huntsman enemies have between 150 to 78 or 70 to 150 HP and drop usually the same amount of blood echoes. And they drop a range between blood vials, quicksilver bullets, and Molotov cocktails. It depends on the type. The ones you mostly have to worry about, in my opinion, are the riflemen and the pitchfork ones, just because they could be kind of dangerous, as well as the cavalier ones, or cutlass ones. They have like a sword saber type weapon, and reason why I worry about those is because they can hit kind of hard and quickly. So keep that in mind. Torch with Shield has 7 HP also. Easy to kill. I am surprised none of them have dropped anything. Here's a miniature mob right here. This is a recurring theme here in the game as well as early on, so be careful. I usually like taking them down the stairs, like bottleneck them. I want to take that opportunity to heal just because. Hey, we've got some Quicksilver, nice. That guy left. Oh, there he is. Down here, I just want to warn you guys, there is a really, really tough enemy over here that I'm going to be kind of avoiding for now. It's not the hardest enemy in this central Yharnam area, but it is an enemy called an Executioner. If you want to fight it, when he does a certain attacks, you could easily stagger him with a blunderbuss and do some serious visceral damage, which I'll show you what visceral damage is on another enemy coming up. But those guys are really tough, but there is a good area later in the game that is like one of my favorite grinding areas that involve a few of those dudes. Lots of cocktail.
You that outside, sorry, trot along, will we?
Some, yeah, not all the NPCs care for you, so just, I do like knocking on each door, just adds a little bit more to the world. This episode's going to be an hour long plus, I could already tell, so not a big deal. Jesus Christ, can I do absolutely anything? That was bad. I'll take that. I just wanted to kill that rifleman because rifle guys could be very bad. And they always drop Quicksilver bullets. So a good grinding spot. There's like 3 of them in this area, so if you don't mind dealing with a lot of huntsmen, good spot to get them. But there is a better spot for later. There's a ambush up here right near that thing, so just dodge roll towards it and whack away. That item we just got. Okay, no one's coming. This is a upgrade material for your weapon, so next time we go back to the hunting stream, I do plan on using it on the threaded cane. For now, they're pretty rare and uncommon, but they do become really common later in the game, so don't worry about using it now, because you have more chances of getting them later. Don't worry. I don't plan on using the threaded cane for my whole playthrough, just up until I get what I want to actually use. That was another ambush, at least an attempt. Jesus. I think I made a grave mistake. I don't think I made a grave mistake, actually. Because those guys decided just to split up and get stuck on that lamppost for like half an hour. Nice, blood vials. I could use those. You could have up to a max of 20 blood vials on you at each given moment, but they do go to a storage area if you get over max, which I'll show you guys eventually. Don't worry, that comes up. Pretty sure it's going to be open by now. The Hunter's Dream Workshop area opens up once you get to a certain point. That torch can do a little bit of damage, so be careful. Oh, and the enemies in this game have ragdoll physics, so sometimes they get stuck on you and fly around with you like crazy. It's really fun. It usually happens for like a split second or two, so. Let's get these 2 guys, because these guys come back and I don't want to deal with I would have to say, in the beginning portion of the game, this central Yarnum section, this like alleyway, this is probably the hardest area. It's the hardest thing so far, just because of all the enemies. Though they only take a few hits, so it's not a big deal. Just try avoiding getting ganked. I wish I had some pebbles right now because I could use them. If a rifleman takes aim, just zigzag. You should be fine because once he fires, the bullet can't hit you. There are different types of guns, though. Alright. Very cocky, I understand that. That's gonna be my catchphrase for this video. No, it isn't. I promise I'll stop saying cocky. Oh god, another huntsman. I'm all the way over here, dipshit! Oh. Dogs. Rabbit dogs, specifically, that's their name. Watch out for them, because they can be really pesty. Come on, big boy. Mr. Pitchfork. The reason why the Pitchfork I find a little bit dangerous, just because of his range with the Pitchfork. But, if you're careful, you could easily dodge the attacks. Just be careful on the stairs, because he can hit you. I'd like to get that dog. Oh my god, that dog's just like, I don't care. Visceral, or not visceral, rally points. Basically, when you get hit, when you see like the lighter orange color, if you hit an enemy with that orange bar, it will fill up, so you get a little bit HP back. But once it's jet black like it is, you can't get that HP back unless if you heal or head back to the Hunter's Dream. Come on, you little varmint. So yeah, that's why dogs are annoying. And they usually come in packs of more than one, so... Whoops. Got a little carried away there. Let's just head up here and avoid the riflemen for now. That's an item we'll talk about later. I would not recommend using that. That is a consumable. Okay, I guess I'll talk about it now. It's basically like those soul orb items that you crush and get souls with. I would not recommend using them as you get them because, well, it leaves you open to getting attacked by other enemies if you're in the world. And personally, it's just not worth using unless if you're need it for a level up or at Hunter's Dream where you can actually use it. Quicksilver bullets. Jesus Christ, I have a lot. How many do I have specifically? Let me check. I can't check here. Okay, we'll check that out later. We can check that out in the storage menu. I apologize. If you just heard that weird growl roar thing, that is a enemy that we're going to be fighting pretty soon. Don't worry, you can't break through that door. That door is pretty much sealed. So don't worry about it breaking through and kicking your butt. Because that looks like it could be a trap, but nah. Nah. This area is unforgiving. Not unforgiving. Whoops. my phone thought I said Siri. So we just heard that beep sound. Some blood vials. This is a... Down here is a path to an area we could go to right now, but I'm going to be waiting for a little bit later. There's another way down there, and I just don't like doing it right now. So let's fight one of my favorite enemies, the Huntsman Minion, or what I usually like to call the Brick Troll, just because it carries like a giant brick. These guys are slow, but hit hard, so be very careful. But they can be easily visceral. They can be easily visceral by a blunderbuss, which is why I prefer using that. killed it with a blunderbuss. Jesus. Blood vials. Let me see. Huntsman. Brick have 100 HP and have really good chances of dropping blood vials, as well as shining coins, which are those little prism stones you got in Dark Souls. They just light up the path for like a secret. They're good, but for the most part, the reason why you like killing these things is for the 100 plus blood vials or blood echoes it drops, which is the most of any enemy so far. There is an item behind this bouquet of caskets guarded by these crows? Carrion crows. I'm pretty sure carrion is another word for, like, some kind of protein in your body, so... I think it's another word for flesh, actually. These ladies or whatever don't give a shit. They're not integral to the story. I like talking to them because they're assholes and I want to punch their faces in, but alas I can't. Okay. I'm not sure how much longer we got until the end of the video, guys. My guess is 15 minutes. This is a way we could go later, or a shortcut we can unlock later. I mean, keep that window in mind. That is actually a pretty good thing. I got lucky right there because normally those dogs huddle next to each other and are really tough to deal with. And there's a third one. Shit. Come on, big boy. Someone was just like, hey, let's make these dog enemies like 10 times faster than anything else in this already pretty fast game. I mean, they're rabid, but I don't think rabid means on crack. Sorry. How did I not hit you? I got a little... something that starts with the letter C. I'm just gonna heal. 6 blood vials. Nice. Okay. Well, this puts us onto the Great Bridge, which is pretty much where we're gonna be focusing on for the next few episodes. Not few, but like next episode or two. So go down here, there is, I believe, another one of those bloodstones for upgrading that weapons. I'm not crazy, I think it's here. I swear to God, there it is. Yep, blood shard. Alright. So, up there we got 2 Scourge Beasts, except these ones are not at low health. Scourge Beasts are kind of tough and probably one of the harder enemies in the game. They have 500 HP and have a really good chance of dropping a decent amount of blood vials and stones. Wait a second. Give me a second, guys. I need to plug my laptop in. Crap. Of course. Literally like 2 inches too far. So before we get into this, I need to plug my laptop in, and it is at pretty low battery, and I don't want it to die, so I'm going to adjust a few things here for a second. Normally I would do this off screen, but I don't have that liberty right now. There we go. I promise that will not happen again. It's just, this is the first episode, so getting the bugs out now is the good thing. Down here is just kind of a shortcut back to the central area, as well as another way to progression. Ignoring that for now. Pebbles. I'm going to equip those because I just like having them on. Oh! Oil urns, save that for later. You don't want to waste that right now. Pebbles are just pebbles. They're useless. They just are used to throw at enemies to get their attention. Is down here? Yep, that's the courtyard we just were in. So now we're gonna basically run for our fucking lives to get away from the scourge beasts and take a very hard left right here through this door. Kill this dude. Kill this dude. Grab those blood vials. I'm gonna use one right now just because I don't really mind using blood vials like that for a reason I'll show you in a moment. Kill this dude. Or totally fucking whiff like 10 times in a row. Kill this guy in the wheelchair. Yes, this is a bad guy. Pungent blood cocktail. Some quicksilver bullets. A note telling us about the healing church a little bit more, I guess. Open this door. Get burned by that guy, I guess. Get burned by this guy a little bit more, I guess. Kill him, heal. Upgrade material, which is nice. Blood vial. Head down here. There will be 2 brick trolls, or minions if you prefer, but I'm going to call them brick... Okay. Brick minions. We'll call them brick-ins. Come on, buddy. That didn't count, really? Okay. Sometimes the game's just like, yeah, I don't give a shit what you do. I'm just going to ignore. Oh my god, fucking stagger, you piece of shit! Why is it not working? It's worked before, why isn't it working now? Is it because I'm recording? Before I die, because that one hit could kill me. Well, I was trying to stagger him, but whatever. Yeah, that looked really wrong, didn't it? Also kill this guy. Oh, you stagger, but the other guy... Sorry about that. Charge up and attack, kill him. And down that way is a shortcut we don't have access to quite yet. Down that way is a way for progression, as well as a really sick jump, and up this way is an item we can actually miss pretty easily. Broken staircase with some cold blood. And then down this other option we have a doorway back to the house we were in a moment ago. So now we got all those shortcuts unlocked, and not only that, but that gate back at the lantern is right here. So now we have basically access to the bridge, and we don't have to go all the way through that central yarn area. So good to have. Good to have indeed. I am going to heal real quick. And I'm not hitting it off quite yet. There's one more thing I want to do, but I do want to head back to Hunter's Dream just so we can buy a few things. As what I want to do next involves me dying, and I don't want to lose all my blood echoes. So. Yep. It's open. So up here we have a few options for our use. First is the storage. Place items in storage or retrieve stored items. This stores any overflow items we couldn't carry in the first place. Very useful. Has a lot of slots for different stuff. Personally, I don't really care about storing stuff in here other than consumables, of course. That's the only real use for it. This is Garum.
You must be the new hunter.
Excuse me.
Welcome to the hunter's dream. This will be your home for now. I am
Gurman.
Gammon, friend to you hunters. You're sure to be in a fine haze about now, but don't think too hard about all of this. Just go out and kill a few beasts. It's for your own good. You know, it's just what hunters do. You'll get used to it.
Right here is a memory altar. This has no use for us right now, so don't even bother using it. And then this is the workshop. This lets you fortify your weapons, which lets you upgrade them. Repair weapons, which repairs it. As you can see, 45 Blood Echo's durability is a little low. Not really low. And then there's a few options that do pop up later, but we can't do that. When you fortify a weapon, it automatically repairs it also, so don't need to repair it. We're going to upgrade this once, since that's all we can do now. That'll give us a little extra damage, as well as, well, a slot for a blood gem, which we don't have access to quite yet. So, with that being done, this character or thing right here has no use for us currently. But I do want to just buy as many junk items as we can. I'll buy 2 of these. I'll buy 5 of these. I'll buy the rest in these because Molotov cocktails are really good to have early game. So there's that. And when you head back to Hunter's Dream, before we do anything, actually, I want to go back to the first floor sick room and speak with a character we can now speak to. Isaka, specifically. I think it's Isaka. And then there's 2 other things I want to do in the end of the video. And they're all fairly short. Fairly short. So head up here.
Are you out on the hunt? Then I'm very sorry, but I cannot open this door. I am Yosefka. The patients here in my clinic must not be exposed to infection. I know that you hunt for us, for our town, but I'm sorry. Please. This is all that I can do. Now, go, and good hunting. Are you still... I could...
So remember her for later. So you guys might hear a little barking because there's a UPS truck out front, and my dog loves barking at that stuff, so... You know what, I think I'll end today's video off, just because the next episode might be a little bit short. No. I actually want to continue playing. Sorry, I was thinking out loud there. Now that I think about it, I don't think it is for me, this UPS package. I do expect a package today, but not this. It's like I was... That sounds good, but that is a one-time use item, and you won't be able to get it like blood vials. Don't use it. I usually just like holding on to it. And, so... Now that we have the shortcut unlocked, which saves a lot of time, just kill this mofo. Our weapon does a little bit more damage. Not... like that wall. No. Does a little more damage. And as you can see, these enemies respawn, which is what happens when you use the lanterns. Kill this guy. This is actually a grinding method I love doing for blood echoes and items because, well, it's just really useful for quicksilver bullets and blood vials, as you'll see in a moment. Kill this guy. Some breakdance as he dies. This guy takes a little while, but is it bad? And then, now that he's dead, what I like to do is pebble miss that guy with a pebble. And run. Get the attention of the Scourge Beasts and run into this hallway, or this doorway right here. And eventually both should come. But, as you can see, these guys can't fit through the doorway. They can try as they might, and they might look like they might get in, but for some reason, their hitbox and the doorway's hitbox is just... Their hitbox is just too big. You could say all the windows you want there, and yeah. This is personally how I like taking these guys out. It's cheap and super cheesy, but then again, I'm Sir Gentle. I'm not gonna be going in for bloodthirsty murder, you know. I'm anything but gentle after. No, that made no sense. So you get 6 blood echoes from that. Really damn useful. However, there is a thing that happens sometimes where they glitch through the staircase and they never come back. You can't. Like, their bodies glitch through the staircase and you can't get the blood vials from them. They spawn, so don't worry about that. For a little bit extra grinding, you can also very easily go this way, down here, up the staircase, and take the left right here and kill these brick trolls right here, which I'm going to show for the sake of this video. I'm in a bad place right now. These guys are really easy to get behind and heavy attack. If you heavy attack an enemy from behind, you can stagger them and do a really hard-hitting visceral attack, which... Excuse me, dude. Visceral attacks are based on or the skill stat, so my visceral attacks are going to do a shitload of damage. Shiny coins, that's the rare drop of the two. Again, they're like the prism stones, and they're not really worth that much selling, so it's just... If I would have to choose between blood vials or that, I would go with blood vials because those are more useful for me. I never use shining coins. Wow, did we really get some Molotov cocktails from that dude? That's a 5% drop rate. Nice. Now that the Scourge Beasts are dead and stuff, we head up here. Take a left instead of a right to get the Scourge Beast since those guys are dead. And right here is another brick troll as well as some carrion crows, which I'll just call crows for the sake of this let's play. Throw Molotov. This should do a lot of damage to the dude and kill at least 2 of the carrion crows if you're far enough. Sometimes 3, but it's not as common as it. Ow! Ow! Jesus! Not as common. Visceral. Visceral does a lot of damage. These crows could be really pesty. They're like the dogs, but like they could just stagger lock you, especially if there's more than one. And they repeatedly hit. So through this archway is a optional boss, and one boss I personally like fighting first. I'm gonna go in and die to it, because when you encounter a boss, you get 1 point in insight, and this will give you access to the doll, which is used to upgrade your character. So we're gonna do that real quick. I'm gonna grab this first. Get me, big boy. Actually, I want a challenge. Let's do this. No, we'll do it next episode. Kill me, big boy. It's like, what are you doing? What is this fighting stuff? There we go. I'll do all the like stats and moveset stuff in the next episode when we actually fight this bad boy. But this video's gone on long enough, and I want to actually grind up for some levels, which is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be grinding up to a certain number, which you guys might find a little ridiculous, but I do really need to save up for it. Now that we died, I guess we get this now. Alright, and one insight now, we can speak to her as many times as we need. So, that was episode 1, and I noticed my green screen is a little off center. I'm ending off this video right here now, guys, so next episode, which will be right after this, I'm going to be doing 2 videos today just for the hell of it, will be momentarily starting. Sorry. So thanks for watching this, and I'll see you guys in episode 2.